Hey guys, 5-9 Gaming here, back with another Dragon Ball Legends video. I'm Gorash, joined by Swift, and in this video we're going to be talking about the second half of the 3rd year anniversary for Dragon Ball Legends. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. As you can see, this video and stuff, I guess technically it's reveal and stuff, is almost 40 minutes long. That is half of a feature-length film, so we're going to be here for a little bit. A lot of character to mention, and as you see on your screen right there in front of you, we have an Ultra Vegeta coming to the game. So we have the info on the screen. What's the first thing that you thought about when this was revealed, Swift?
Honestly, I didn't think that this was like a hype enough unit for an Ultra unit. I think somebody mentioned, you will be able to run him alongside Ultra Goku, but at the end of the day, I honestly did not expect this. I was thinking maybe like an LOE Ultra unit or something like that. What's weird about this is it seems like it's obviously Frieza Saga, so it's like, the Frieza Saga team really isn't, all that viable right now. So I don't know. I guess he does have Saiyan on there as well, but it's kind of out of left field for me. What do you think?
Yeah. So if you like go back like a few seconds in the video, it has like the first part of his kit. He's purple, which is I think the reason why people think he'll be good alongside the Ultra Goku, right? Ultra Goku being red, purple and red do pair well together. Again, I don't know. He's ranged, right? So like ranged and Ultra Goku being melee, it'll be a little bit weird, but I think it could work out well. He does a lot of stuff with, I think he applies some debuffs to the enemy every time he uses a Striker Blast. Like, he does things that are annoying and are definitely going to be good for your team, but I agree with you in terms of like the aesthetic of the character. I didn't really think this is worthy of an ultra moment, especially when you compare this to Ultra Goku, right? Literally the first Super Saiyan transformation ever, and then you have like Dirty Fireworks Vegeta as the second Ultra character. I was thinking if they were going to do an Ultra Vegeta, they would do like the Great Ape transformation as like the ultimate card or something like that.
Yeah.
And like that would be their first introduction to like giant transformations, right? That to me is an ultra worthy moment, not Dirty Fireworks.
Well, yeah, like you said, with Ultra Goku, the hype thing about it is in the beginning he transforms from Saiyan to Super Saiyan, and that makes it a very hype moment and a very hype character. I agree with this. It's kind of like, yeah, the Azaro form would have been very cool, but yeah, I agree. This unit's it's cool. It's going to be a free unit. I'm sure he's going to be decently good. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how well he can be ran with Ultra Goku, and yeah, I don't know, just kind of a random Ultra character, but hey, it's free, so I'm down for it.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely looks, to me, he looks like he probably will be better than Goku, just looking at his kit. He gets card draw speed with his green card. He, again, inflicts, I think, damage received, debuffs the enemy every time he uses Striker Blast card. He restores Ki on his green card. I mean, he's doing a lot. We'll have to just see what he ends up doing. I think the interesting thing to me, though, is to see what his Ultra ability will be. I don't think they talk about that, did they? I think the one thing that I'm interested in seeing is if his Ultra ability is dependent on Saiyans or is actually going to be dependent on Frieza Saga. Because if it's dependent on Frieza Saga, that's so limiting.
So yeah, it is Frieza Saga and Saiyan, but yeah, that Ultra ability will be kind of the deciding factor. I do like to see on his green card he is restoring that Ki. It's going to be a little bit something that Ultra Goku doesn't have. Ultra Goku does have a nice green card, but then you're not getting that extra Ki to be able to, start a combo and continue a combo. At least with this guy, you're restoring a little bit of Ki, and you can chain that with all these other cards. So I agree. Just from looking at these stats right here, it looks like this guy's going to be slightly better, but that's just a guess at this point. But I'm hyped for him.
Yeah, me too. He's definitely cool. I don't know. It's a strange choice for the second ever Ultra character, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that was the first character that got announced, was the Ultra Vegeta. And then we will move on to the Zenkai GT Kid Goku. What are your thoughts on this guy?
So there's definitely a reason why they didn't give the red Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta the GT red Zenkai buff, right? It's because they definitely had this guy in the pipeline, right? And that's why they didn't do that, because they didn't want to have two back-to-back like that.
Right.
So this guy's going to be buffing red GT. And the one thing that interests me about this guy's kit is he has a unique ability that is specifically tailored towards doing extra damage towards androids. And this guy being a red unit, doing extra damage against androids, I wonder who they're targeting with that.
Yeah, this guy's going to be doing a lot of damage to Zenkai Android 18, that is for sure. So that's a good thing about him. He's going to be able to counter 18. Now he is, so yeah, Sun Family Saiyan GT. Yeah, I think he's probably going to be pretty good. I remember this guy, when he first came out, he was actually a pretty viable character. He's got the ability every single time he uses a, blaster strike card, he's buffing his ultimate. I believe, if I can remember right, he gets card draw speed with his green card, I think. So he's got some, good things in his kit. He probably will be a good Zenkai unit if I had to guess.
Yeah, I think he'll be good. I mean, he has the Dragon Ball effect too, where he gets, I think it's more strike attack depending on how many Dragon Balls you have when you enter the battlefield. So it's similar to like Omega and Nova Shenron. And he's going to be doing a lot of damage, right? He's a Zenkai unit, so he's going to have like 280-something thousand to his main attack stat. He'll be doing a lot of damage, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's about it for this Zenkai Goku. We will move on to the actual new units that they announced here. First up, we got Bido.
Bido. Dude, when I saw this Bido, we knew this was the best anniversary of all time. Instantly.
And what's funny about these units is, and we'll get to that in a second, but they got a bunch of these new extreme units, and I just feel like it's going to be hard to build this team if they're all summonable extreme units. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if they don't change the rates specifically for these guys, because these guys are introducing a new tag, the Heraclan. That's a new tag that we haven't seen in the game before, which is Bojack's crew, basically.
Right.
And I think, 4 of them are extreme. So if you don't have at least 3, I would say, it's not going to be really feasible to run the Heraclan team, so to speak. And a lot of these guys are doing extra stuff for the Heraclan. You can see this Bido. He gives extra damage to the Heraclan tag. So there's merit in actually running this team. And if you're not able to pull these guys, because, as you guys know at this point, extreme characters have a very low pull rate, then you're not really going to have a fun time or even a viable, opportunity to run this team at all. So, yeah, I agree with that for sure. If they don't make these guys accessible in some way or increase their rates specifically, then this could be a very difficult team to build. I imagine what they might do is, I assume this is going to be a step up because there's an LF unit here, but maybe add a step like the guaranteed extreme step. Maybe on that guaranteed extreme step, maybe make it a little bit easier to pull these new extremes.
Yeah, that's actually a very good idea, because it is, as we all know, if you want to run an extreme unit in PvP, at least in the higher ranks, you need that dude at very high stars. So it's going to be very hard to pull this entire team, let alone get them high stars. So hopefully, a guaranteed extreme step would be extremely nice. So yeah, Bido was the first extreme unit that got announced, and then we got Bujin, good old Bujin.
Yeah, this guy actually seems pretty good. If you go to the next page, I think that's where the meat of his kit is really written for us. But he has a lock on his main ability, 10 counts, and typically what we see with locking characters these days is they actually end up locking both characters in. So they'll lock themselves in and then they'll lock the enemy in.
Right.
That's sort of their way of balancing the lock effect. We saw that with Nova Shenron. We saw that with Red Bardock, Shugesh, all these characters that lock, I think also lock themselves in. And that's been sort of their way of acknowledging that this is a very cancerous and toxic ability.
Yeah.
There's no counterplay to this at all. It's one of the only things in the game that you can't counter, just getting locked in. But with this guy, I guess they felt comfortable with just giving him a traditional, lock the enemy in for 10 counts. So we'll see if that ends up being annoying, but it probably will be. But again, for a character that's an extreme like this, a new extreme, I don't anticipate it being super toxic, but maybe I'll be wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, and one thing I've already noticed is the first 2, if I'm not mistaken, so Bido was a support unit. Is Bujin support as well? Okay, so yeah, we got 2 support units right off the bat. Interesting. I guess that's, one way to, build up a new tag. But this is like we've been saying, this is going to be a pretty difficult tag to build up in the beginning. All right, so we got Bido, 1 support unit. We got Bujin, the 2nd support unit. And then we move into Zengia, a ranged, another extreme unit. What are your thoughts on her?
Yeah, Zangia looks to me like she might be the best of the extreme units for this new Heraclan tag. She has card draw speed for the first 60 counts of the battle, as you can see right there. Yeah, reduces damage received by 40%. Actually, that's a lot. And then she gets level 1 card draw speed for 60 counts. She gets 60% damage for 80 counts. And then if you take a look at what she does here, she gets another instance of card draw speed for 5 counts when she switches in, as well as 50% to key recovery. So you switch her in within that first 60 counts, she's going to have double card draw speed.
Wow. Yeah, this is just when she enters the battlefield. Boom, she gets 40% blast damage, she gets card draw speed, and even though it's only 5 counts, I'm assuming this repeats every single time she swaps in. Yep. She's going to be getting those buffs. So that is actually, I probably agree with you on that this is probably the best extreme unit that we've seen out of these 3 so far.
And keep in mind that 40% blast damage is on top of the 60% damage she's getting from the prior page too. So
right.
She's going to be at 100% blast damage, double card draw speed, and then 50% key recovery. Because that key recovery is definitely going to help out with double card draw speed, right? You're most likely going to run out of key before you run out of cards with double card draw speed, so
right.
That'll help out.
And on her main ability, restores key by 50, restores own vanish gauge by 70%. And nullifies enemies special. So she basically becomes, immune to cover change for 15 counts. That's not a bad main ability.
Yeah, she's looking really good. I mean, she does pretty much everything except for tank, but she's not really meant to tank. I think for this unit specifically, what you want to be doing is starting a combo with someone else and then switching into her, getting that double card draw speed and continuing the combo for a long time with her. And then, maybe try and like stay in for a little bit, restore your vanish gauge twice. So
yeah,
she definitely is. She definitely looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that is Zangia. We will move on to the next one, which is Gokua, a blue melee unit. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, so he's the first ever transforming extreme unit. I don't believe they mentioned what the transformation conditions are, but he is a very, like, it's so obvious what they're trying to do with this guy. 60% damage inflicted against hybrid Saiyans. Keep in mind, he's a blue unit.
Right.
He reduces damage received from hybrids, and then on the next page, this is the funny part. Inflicts all enemies with no switching if enemy is tag hybrid Saiyan.
That's so specific.
What do you think they're trying to do?
I will say, hybrid, we'll get into that in a second, but hybrid Saiyans is getting a lot of love in this part 2 of the 3rd anniversary. And, it's going to be a hard team to take down. So I can actually see this coming in handy against hybrid Saiyans that, like I said, we'll get into that in a second. But they did get a new unit that is going to help them out a lot. So, I mean, it is a very specific ability. You're only really going to be wanting to run this guy against hybrid Saiyans, in my opinion. So it is a little bit specific, but I can see where they're coming from, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's clearly meant to just destroy Red Gohan, right? I mean, this is his main purpose. He's getting, I think it's 140% damage to hybrids, because he gets 40% on the top, he gets 40% on the bottom, and then he gets 60% specifically against hybrids.
Yeah.
So, and they're also locked in.
And he inflicts no switching when he dies, too, it looks like. Yeah, wow. Interesting. All right, so that is it for Gokua. Basically, just a counter for hybrid Saiyans, directly countering the Red Gohan. Now we get into some of the hybrid Saiyans that I was talking about. The first one being Super Saiyan Trunks. Let me go back here to show his color. I believe, he is a green melee unit for hybrid Saiyan, Super Saiyans, obviously Vegeta family. And he is future, which is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the one thing I'm kind of worried about for this guy is that because he's a Super Saiyan, I feel like they might hold back a little bit just because of Bardock.
Yeah, I agree. And I've heard rumors that he's a pseudo support unit. Am I mistaken on that or no?
Well, he does have the death buffs there. When his character is defeated, it restores allies' health and then damage depending on what tags they're on.
Oh, okay.
He also gets extra healing and stuff when he gets hit below a certain amount of health. And that's pretty much it, I think.
Okay. I will say, going into this part 2, hybrid Saiyans did need... I mean, hybrid Saiyans, we all know, is a busted team, but they do need basically a purple unit and a green unit, I would say, and they got both of them. They got this guy's green, and we'll move on to the very hype next character. Or actually, we got a couple more to touch onto that. But yeah, Hybrid Saiyans has definitely gotten some extreme love on this part 2 of the 3rd anniversary.
Yep.
Anything else we're missing on this guy? I think we basically covered. He's just going to be a green melee unit for Hybrid Saiyans, and then we'll move on to the Sparking Bojack, a red defense unit. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, so the one interesting thing about this guy, I think they actually don't really give us that much info on him right now, so it's hard to really judge. But the interesting thing about him is Toshi mentioned that he transforms with his Awakened Arts card, which, if you guys don't know what an Awakened Arts card is like that pink card that they haven't really used in forever.
Yeah.
And I personally thought they would never use that again. I thought it was going to be just they probably were. I thought they may even just remove it from the game because no units use that Awakened Arts card. I think the only units that use that are like Ginyu's Body Change and like Goldo's AoE Stun.
Yeah.
It's like not really a used card, but it looks like this guy's going to be actually transforming via the Awakened Arts card. It looks like it looks kind of similar to Turles, the yellow Turles, where once he lands his ultimate, he gets like all these buffs and stuff. I think once this guy lands that Awakened Arts card, he's actually going to transform. So it's kind of like an attack and a transformation in like one ability. So it's interesting.
Yeah. And this right here shortens ally sub count by 5 when enemy activates Rising Rush. That's kind of interesting. That's something that we've seen before, I think with like yellow Rage Trunks, and then that actually might be the only character that we've seen something like this. I can't remember, but that's kind of an interesting ability.
Rage Trunks reduces his own sub count, but this guy reduces the sub count of all allies. So for instance, if you're running this guy in powerful opponent, like let's say you're doing like a red green powerful opponent team with like red cell, you can switch red cell in if your opponent rushes and then just have him eat the rush and revive, right? So that's like an interesting way that you can use that.
Oh yeah, that's actually a very good point. You run this guy alongside Revival Cell. Wow. We'll briefly go over his kit here. Nothing like Gresh said, I don't think they gave too much information. He looks like he's got a 30% reduced damage received. He's got 40% damage inflicted. Randomly destroys 3 enemy cards when you land the special move arts. That's not bad. Yeah, powerful opponent, sagas from the movies. Yeah, overall, kind of an interesting unit. We'll have to see how well he performs in battle. Now, this next character is going to be the real juicy stuff. We got a Legends Limited Super Saiyan Gohan announced, and like I said, he is purple. He's going to be a revival unit. Any thoughts on this guy, Goresh?
So, revival units are very annoying, right? We know this.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I'm very concerned with is the fact that this guy's not only a revival unit, but he's purple, which means he's going to be a really good partner for the red Gohan.
Yeah.
So this is actually like the reason why I think they specifically made the Gokua the way that they did, is because he can lock in the red Gohan and like rush him or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if you can't deal with that red Gohan and you want to rush him, you'll rush, and then the hybrid user will just switch in this Gohan and eat it and revive, right? That's the purpose that this guy's serving here. So you can run some very toxic setups too. Like you run this guy in Sun Family, you can run him with the reviving Blue Goku. You can run 2 revive units on Sun Family now,
which is just nuts.
Yeah, you could even run those 2 together, and then you can throw like Future Gohan on there. So you have 2 revival units and then 1 endurance unit. So it's just like a never-ending match that's always going to go to timer, which is very annoying and toxic.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I'm very concerned with when I see this.
Well, like you said, he's purple, so you want to bring a yellow unit to counter him, but then if you're facing a Hybrid Saiyan team against, red LF Zenkai Gohan, then you really don't want to bring a yellow unit. So it's kind of I agree, it's going to be tough to take down this unit alongside the red Gohan, and yeah, it's going to be really tough. Like you really won't be able to rush the red Gohan, which I'd say most of the time when you face Hybrid Saiyans, that's your Rising Rush target. So yeah, it's going to be tough, man. Yep. But so I do see 70% health after he revives instead of Clap Coup or Revival Coup gets 50%. So that's a little bit of an improvement right there.
Yeah. So in the preview video, it doesn't say this here, but his green card is like the old yellow Bojack movie Gohan, the green card. It's like the AoE pushback that Zamasu has and like UI Goku has. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah, returning to the annoying Bojack movie Gohan memes are gonna come back probably here, but.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of excited for this guy. I'm not really too excited on chasing another LF unit, to be honest, but he's definitely going to be good for Hybrid Saiyans. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I am very hyped for him, but at the same time, it's just another LF unit that you have to chase. So if you're a Hybrid Saiyan main, I definitely suggest chasing this guy. But yeah, go ahead.
The one thing that catches my eye with this guy is that like middle portion. If an ally has been defeated, randomly drops to 2 new cards instead. And then this is the part that's like gets me a little bit worried. Every time this character uses an arts card, he gets 25% damage, and you restore his ki by 15 3 times, and it resets whenever he switches out.
Wow, I didn't even see that part. That is busted. So yeah, it does only activate 3 times, but then it just resets. Wow.
It's kind of like Vegeta Blue a little bit.
And he does have 20% damage buff to powerful opponents, so that's gonna kind of counter, you know, some of the regen teams, some of the really powerful opponents, a little bit of everything. So I mean, I'd say overall that's a good buff.
To me, that's really focused on Green Goku Black.
Yeah.
Because he's purple, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. He does get card draw speed, restores ki. Overall, this guy's going to be a phenomenal unit, especially for Hybrid Saiyans. As me and Goresh have said, it's going to be very hard to counter this guy alongside Red LF Gohan. So, I mean, overall, I think that's about it for the video and stuff. That was all the characters. They announced a couple other miscellaneous, you know, events and whatnot. But other than that, I think we basically covered most of the, you know, hype, juicy stuff that, you know, we want to find out about. So, anything else you want to say?
The only thing I will just hope for is an easy way to get those EXs, because like we said earlier, like they're releasing what is it, like 7 or 8 new characters, including the Ultra Vegeta.
Yeah.
4 of them are EXs. If it's gonna be like, you know, impossible to get 4 of those characters because of the raids, like that sucks. So hopefully they do something with that.
Yeah, it would be nice to see some type of like event where you can somehow at least grind up like 1 or 2 of them at least. Because they're basically starting a brand new tag, so, and they're all extreme units that are very, very hard to actually get a copy of. So yeah, I'd like to see like like some type of specific event that goes alongside that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, with that, I think that's about it for this video. We're definitely hype over here at 5-9 Gaming. Make sure to like and comment, and yeah, I think with that will be it, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.